everyone around was stunned. This Yanishua named Hua Jiryong had once been a feared figure in Jiangzhou's South Third Road, wielding nothing but 2 watermelon knives. Who exactly was this young man? Alethea whispered, Yanisi, I'll call home and immediately mobilize our people. Alethea was quite annoyed. Wasn't this tantamount to not taking the Clarence family seriously? How could this be? For the esteemed Clarence family to be extorted like this, trouble was brewing in Jiangzhou. In truth, Otto was also confused, as he didn't recall having any significant memory of this Yanishua. After a moment, he laughed and asked, You are? Though Yanishua came from the streets, he was quick-witted. Seeing this, he hurried over and said with a laugh, Oh, Yanis Andrew, don't you remember? In the bar when you were with Yanisu, I met you there. Oh. Otto instantly understood. No wonder there was no clear impression. It turned out he had only seen him before. With a smile, he said, Yanis, you're one of Yanisu's men? Yanishua quickly demurred. How could I be, Yanis Andrew? Someone like Yanisu, how can I be his subordinate? My boss just has some connections with Yanisu. Their conversation rang like thunder in the minds of those around them. At that moment, vendor Old Saul was utterly terrified. He'd certainly kicked an iron plate this time. As if changing gears, Yanishua said, Yanis Andrew, what's going on here? Otto chuckled and pulled out the night pearl from his hand. It's not much of an issue. Just bought a stone here for 10,000 yuan, and it turned out to have a night pearl inside. But this boss refuses to acknowledge it, insisting I bought a different stone. So, we got into an argument. Alethea said solemnly, the antique market in Jiangzhou is really getting out of hand. I need to discuss this with my father. Yanishua smiled and asked, Miss, may I ask your father's name? Alethea calmly replied, Pete. Yanishua gasped, looking at Otto with renewed respect. This was a big shot, able to chat casually with Yanisu, and accompanied by the daughter of the Clarence family of Jiangzhou. What a foolish move by Old Saul. Thinking this, Yanishua turned around and kicked Old Saul, who fell flat on the ground. But Old Saul didn't dare to react, crawling toward Otto, crying out, Yanishua, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Just a misunderstanding, all a misunderstanding. I was just joking with Yanis Andrew. Slap. Yanishua slapped him again and glared. Do you think you're qualified to joke with Yanis Andrew? Do you think I don't know how you operate, Old Saul? Did you really think you could run wild in this antique street? Though Otto wasn't a bad person, neither was he a good one. Seeing Old Saul nearly losing his wits, he felt pity. But this was because Old Saul was facing him. If it had been someone powerless, Old Saul would likely have been even more brutal. Seeing Otto remain silent, Yanishua gritted his teeth and ordered, beat him up, throw him out of the antique market, break a leg, and ban him from doing business hereafter. After Yanishua finished dealing with the situation, Otto smiled. All right, Yanis, since everything is settled, I'll leave. Yanishua breathed a sigh of relief. Clearly, this gentleman was satisfied. He grinned, Yanis Andrew, it should be. Let me see you out. At the entrance of the antique market, Alethea laughed. Yanis I thought you might be too soft-hearted? Otto chuckled lightly. A man like him? Not worth it. As they say, those who are pitiful must have their hateful side. In the antique trade, he must accept the rules of buying with caution and selling at risk. From the look of his unscrupulous ways, he probably hasn't hesitated to do similar things before. Karma catches up eventually. If he had encountered ordinary people today, others would have suffered instead. Alethea immediately smiled and nodded, saying, Exactly. I especially hate those saintly sluts. They say it's not a big deal, no need to fuss. Of course, they wouldn't care when it doesn't happen to them. Otto laughed. Haha, didn't expect you to be so principled, KC. Alethea pouted. Oh, Elon, don't laugh at me. As she was speaking, Otto's phone rang. Seeing the number, he smiled and said, Look, someone is already reporting to Yanisu. The moment he answered the call, Waylon's voice came through. Clarence settle brother. I heard you were bullied. Do you want me to come over? Yanisu, where are you? Why is it so noisy? Waylon chuckled. I'm singing. Otto instantly lost for words. He hadn't heard of anyone going to KTV in broad daylight. Before Otto could respond, Waylon continued. Clarence settle brother. Wait for me at the antique market. I'll be right there. Within 10 minutes, Waylon's car arrived. A blue Lamborghini Aventador, very imposing. However, Otto wasn't a fan of it. These types of cars made him uncomfortable. For comfort, business cars were better, followed by SUVs and sedans. Sports cars were more like race cars. Young brother, you sure have a good mood today. Strolling around the antique market with your sister-in-law, Waylon's voice reached them even before he arrived. Alethea was momentarily stunned, then beamed happily. Otto furrowed his brows but laughed. Nowhere near as impressive as Yanisu, who can sing during the day. How's Kale doing? Waylon replied with a smile. She's doing well. You helped her. She hasn't had any attacks. It looks great. Speaking of which, Otto asked, Yanisu, do you know anywhere with spiritual herbs or feng shui talismans? Spiritual herbs? Feng shui talismans? Otto explained. Spiritual herbs are generally wild herbs that have grown for many years under harsh conditions. Not all wild herbs are spiritual herbs. As for feng shui talismans, they are special items. Waylon frowned, then said, there might be a place worth checking out. Otto wanted these things on a whim. Spiritual herbs and feng shui talismans were rare, and having some would make things much easier now and in the future. Clarence see Kale's illness, like the Clarence family's feng shui. More importantly, if he had spiritual herbs to assist in his cultivation, his speed would greatly increase. With some clues about his background now, and knowing that his opponents were formidable, Otto felt an urgent need to boost his own strength. In this world, everything could be fake, except for one's own power. Waylon pondered for a moment, then said, Indeed, there is such a person. Follow me, little brother. Alethea asked curiously, Yanisu, who is it? Waylon smiled, right, Kale's-in-law should stay here. This big shot doesn't like crowds. Let's just say his name is Franz. Alethea's face changed abruptly, shock evident. It's him? Chapter 31 Breaking the Shah. Yanis, let me tell you this. Lord Aston's real name is Austin. He was once a bigwig in Hangzhou, and it's rumored he lived in the Ruperjun area as well. His greatest passion in life is collecting rare herbs and antiques. If you're looking for these two items, I reckon he's the only one in Jiangzhou who might have them. In the car, Waylon patiently explained to Otto. Following Waylon's directions, the car quickly left the downtown area of Jiangzhou and stopped in front of an estate near Fengyang Mountain. The moment they stepped out, Otto was taken aback. Indeed befitting a powerful figure, just this mansion alone commands respect among its peers. It boasts 4-quadrant feng shui with radiance stretching for miles, Chinese-style layout. a sprawling courtyard that spans forward and backward, plus annexes on both sides. The courtyard alone covers roughly 20 acres. First comes the inverted seat house, then the pendant flower gate. This is where the separation between front and back takes place. Ordinary guests would be received in the first flower hall. The second gate represents the saying from ancient times about noble ladies staying behind closed doors, referring specifically to the pendant flower gate. Upon entering, Wayland shouted loudly, "Lord Aston, Lord Aston." This was not due to impoliteness but custom. In ancient times, visitors would raise their voices upon entering someone's home so women could excuse themselves. Though this practice is no longer necessary, the tradition remains. In the vast central courtyard, which covers several hundred square meters, an elderly man was gracefully practicing Tai Chi. Wayland immediately greeted him with laughter. "Lord Aston, your vigor has never waned." Lord Aston glanced at Wayland and said, "Why aren't you in the capital? How did you end up in Jiangzhou? I can't even avoid you." Wayland laughed. "Look, we're becoming distant, aren't we? This time I've brought a brother to meet you. This gentleman beside me is Otto, my good younger brother." Otto also greeted politely, "Lord Aston." Austin paused his practice, sizing him up. Surprised by what he saw, Wayland, a known libertine from the capital with a discerning eye, had such a remarkable companion. He then smiled. "Mr. Andrew, you are too kind." Wayland interrupted. "No need for formalities, Lord Aston." "Why Mr. Andrew when you haven't called me Mr. You? Just call him Xiaolong." "Haha, you rogue. Xiaolong, please come this way." Under Lord Aston's guidance, Otto followed through the main hall, passing under the corridor, arriving at the third entrance hall. At this point, Otto frowned. "Lord Aston, may I ask if your residence has been examined by a feng shui master?" Austin immediately took on a proud expression, nodding. "Alexis, indeed. I didn't expect Xiaolong to know about these things. Can you identify what feng shui features I have here?" Otto smiled. "Your residence has the azure dragon on the left with flowing water, the white tiger on the right with a long path, the vermilion bird at the front with a pond, and the black tortoise at the back with hills. It's truly a treasure land. Alexis, strangely enough, there's a malevolent energy lingering over such auspicious ground, and more bizarrely, this malevolent energy seems to originate from Lord Aston himself." Pausing, Otto looked directly at Austin. "Lord Aston, does anyone else besides you suffer from frequent nightmares while living here?" Austin abruptly stood up, staring darkly at Otto. "Basil, are you here to cause trouble?" Otto chuckled lightly. "Lord Aston, don't test me. Clearly, you already knew this, otherwise, why would you live here alone? But I think this method of protecting your family and yourself, though effective, isn't the best solution." At this moment, Lord Aston suddenly became agitated. "Do you have a solution?" Otto replied with a smile. "Let's give it a try." Saying that, Otto walked around the entire residence, confirming there were no issues within the courtyard. Then he looked at Lord Aston. "It seems Lord Aston has high-ranking assistants, knowing about your malevolent energy and suppressing it with feng shui. Without this setup, Lord Aston probably wouldn't be alive now." Austin sighed deeply, nodding. "Indeed, I didn't expect Barker. So young yet understanding so clearly." Suddenly, Otto formed seals with his fingers, and mystical true chi surged towards Lord Aston. Suddenly, Lord Aston's jade pendant floated up, the string tightened and snapped with a snap. Thick black smoke emerged from the jade pendant, emitting eerie cries and mournful sounds like a parade of ghosts, chilling the air and causing cold winds to stir, making everyone present shudder. Next, this black smoke formed into a ghost-like shadow, rushing straight toward Otto. In that instant, Otto's dragon pendant emitted a dragon's roar, and the black smoke was absorbed into Otto's body. This bizarre situation lasted for several dozen seconds before it dissipated like smoke. By this time, Lord Aston and Wayland were both dumbfounded by the commotion. "Clarence, settle, Giannis, are you okay?" Wayland asked anxiously right away. Though Wayland was somewhat worried that if anything happened to Otto, he wouldn't be able to treat Khaleesi, his concern touched Otto. Waving his hand, Otto replied, "I'm fine, don't worry." Continuing, Otto looked at Austin and said, "Lord Aston, this jade pendant of yours should be a funeral object. It's an item intended for burial. Over the years, it has gradually become a type of feng shui instrument, and after many years of nurturing it with your own vital essence, initially it brought you significant benefits. However, everything is a double-edged sword. The deeper the connection became, the more intertwined it grew with you, making it impossible to remove." Austin nodded and said, "That's correct. Barker, what about that dragon's roar just now?" Otto suddenly took out his dragon pendant and smiled lightly. That sound came from this. Upon seeing the dragon pendant, Austin's eyes lit up, and he exclaimed instantly, "The dragon pendant! The dragon family's dragon pendant!" Originally looking relaxed, Otto's expression changed immediately as he stepped forward. "Lord Aston, do you know the dragon family?" Austin shook his head and gazed at Otto, suddenly saying, "It's very similar, truly very similar." Continuing, Austin walked into the living room, poured tea for Otto and Wayland, and slowly said, "Barker, you bear a 9/10 resemblance to the patriarch of the Rupert June Andrew family, Andrew Jean. I didn't expect there were surviving descendants of the Andrew family." "Lord Aston, then do you know about the Andrew family?" Lord Aston shook his head. "I don't know much. At that time, I wasn't in Rupert June. I only started working there later. But I heard that the Andrew pendant hides an immense secret. It's said that when complete, not only does it bring inexhaustible wealth, but it also wields immense power. Moreover, a fully formed Andrew pendant contains the secret to immortality." Saying this, Lord Aston sighed. "Unfortunately, the Andrew pendant has never been truly complete. This legend of immortality cost the Andrew family their lives." "That's enough, brother. What's one small district like Rupert June? You will always have my support." Wayland spoke boldly. Lord Austin laughed and said, "Alexis, I admire one side for this. Your mindset and magnanimity are truly commendable. Barker, those matters can't be rushed. Now, you should focus on expanding your network and making more friends. Only then can you stand against your opponents. So, in a few days, I'll host a banquet and officially introduce you to the major families of Jiangzhou." After setting the date, Otto and Wayland bid farewell and left. In the car, Wayland said seriously, "Giannis, Lord Aston makes a good point. You're hidden, while they're exposed. Don't be overly concerned about short-term gains or losses. Understand? The most important thing for you now is to expand your network and make friends widely." Wayland paused and continued, "As a great man once said, make many friends and few enemies." With the news spreading from Lord Aston, the entire Jiangzhou's major families were shaken. Lord Aston hosting a banquet for a mysterious person. This made all the families in Jiangzhou extremely curious. Chapter 32 Conflict. September 19th. The Jiangzhou Grand